Hello all. This is the part 1 of Constitution which states that the union and its territory. The article 1 part 1 consists of article 1 to 4. Article 1 says that India, that is Bharat, shall be union of states. The states and territories thereof shall be specified in the first schedule. So the number 1 here, you can look at it down, that it was substituted by 7th amendment. The territory of India shall comprise of territories of states, the union territories specified in first schedule, and such other territories as may be acquired. So acquired means sometimes suppose India goes for a war and acquires some territory, so it will come under such 1C. Here you should understand the meaning of the word union. Union here states that it is not a federation. The union has two meanings here. It is not as a result of agreement between states like USA. USA has over 50 states, but all the states have come into agreements and thus formed the United States of America. If one of the states breaks the agreement, they can form a separate country. But in case of India, it's not the agreement between the states, hence states have no right to secede. Secede means छोड़ सकते हैं, टूट सकते हैं. So union refers to states. Article 2, let's see Article 2. Admission or establishment of new states. Admission. Now suppose if you are going to a school, you are getting a new member, new person to a school, so we call such procedure as admission, or something new has been added. Parliament may by law, so it's by law, admit into the union or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it think fit. So suppose if India goes for a war and gets some territory, so it will come under Article 2. So it is by law. So Parliament need to pass law. Law is passed by simple majority. So it is by law. Now Article 3. Formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries of name of existing or names of existing states. So it is like suppose Telangana was carved out of Andhra Pradesh, so it was under Article 3. But for that a procedure has to be followed. Okay, so in this article, increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundary of any state, alter the name of any state, like Orissa was earlier name, now it is Odisha. So I'm just giving the example. Now suppose what are the procedure for introducing such bills. So here you should see that bill must be recommended by the president. Without the president recommended, it will not be introduced in any house. Before giving a recommendation, president seek the opinion of the state. However, the opinion of the state is not binding on the president. Here the bill has been referred by the president to the legislature of the state for expressing its views. It's given expressing its views thereon with such period as may be specified in the reference, or within such period as the president may follow. Here the recommendation or the views are not binding. Here you can see the views are not binding on the president. After the recommendation by the president, the bill is introduced in the house, passed by simple majority. Simple majority, and other house has to assent the bill, sent to other house for assent. Now Article 4. Laws made under Article 2 and 3 to provide for the amendment of the first and the fourth schedules. Why are we saying the first and the fourth schedule? Because in the first schedule the name of states are given. As you can see here, name of states and their territories are given, while in the fourth schedule, allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha to the states and the union territories. So whatever, if there is some change because of Article 2 and 3, so first schedule and fourth schedule has to be amended, and it's supplemental, means like incidental and consequential method. ये जो लॉ बना है, जैसे कि आर्टिकल 2 के अंदर बाई लॉ इट्स रिटेन, Simply here also by law is written. So this law, no such laws, these laws shall not be considered amendment, constitutional amendment under Article 368. So this was part 1 of the Constitution. Now what are the issues in part 1? Let us discuss it. Issues in part 1. Now suppose in the past there were kings, so they used to have some enclaves in the interior territory of other kingdoms. So after independence, all those things become a contentious issue in India. So governments sought opinion from Supreme Court. In the case, government asked question to Supreme Court: can we cede territory? If yes, how can we go about it? How to go about it? Okay. So for ceding territory, किसी को अपना देश का टुकड़ा दे देना, जैसे इंडिया ने बांग्लादेश को दिया था, तो उस समय you need constitutional amendment under Constitutional Amendment Act under 368. Now suppose there are multiple transboundary rivers in India. Over the period of time, there has been shift in the flow of this river. So there has been some dispute regarding the land near the river, like Kala Pani disputes, then in Bangladesh, then somewhere in Gujarat. All this has happened. So Supreme Court in Magan Bhai versus Union of India 1969 case said physical features such as river, boundary disputes, settlement is not part of ceding the territory. It does not require Constitutional Amendment Act, and it can be done by a law. So here 3 cases arises, like with respect to territory, boundary demarcation dispute, ceding or acquiring territory, internal reorganization. Like for example, if I give you 100th Constitutional Amendment Act 2015, it was a land boundary agreement to settle dispute between India and Bangladesh. So here it is Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so it must have been ceding territory, because there were some enclaves of Bangladesh in India, and also of India in Bangladesh. So both of them came on an understanding and settled their boundary dispute. Now we shall look into history of reorganization of states. Now after independence, at the time of independence, around 600 independent princely states, apart from main, in addition to company rule India. So administration was not convenient. So in 1950, when constitution came up, 4 categories of states were there. Part A, which is British provinces, which were there total 9. Part B, princely states, around 9. Part C, chief commissioner territory, around 10, such like Delhi, Ajmer, Coorg, and Part D, islands. So when the constitution came up, so there were in total 29 states in 1950. So there were demands about rearrangement of states, how to organize states, on what basis. So Congress decided to organize on the basis of language before constitution was enacted. Okay, commission to find out on what basis the organization of states should take place. So first was Dhar Commission, appointed by Government of India. So basis the Dhar Commission recommended that it should be administrative convenience, not linguistic basis. So after the recommendation of this, there were resentment in states, southern states. So now JVP committee was appointed. Mind you, this commission was appointed by Congress, not by Government of India. Okay, hence it has no chairman. These are some of the facts which goes unnoticed because it has given in the last pages, and since it has been given in the last pages, students generally miss out. The commission rejected the language as basis of rearrangement of states. This created resentment in southern state, and The agitation got stronger. Therefore, government was forced to create Andhra Pradesh from Madras province. Now the Fazal Ali Commission was appointed. Fazal Ali Commission was appointed as the demand for new states emerged more. So other members of Fazal Ali Commissions were K.M. Panikkar, H.M. Kunjuru. It broadly accepted language as basis for reorganization but rejected one language one state policy. It gave four criteria for rearrangement of states, that is preservation and strengthening of unity and security, linguistic and cultural homogeneity, financial, economic and administrative consideration. Because reorganization is a huge burden financially, because you need to create a new capital, a whole set of new administrative setup mechanism, recruit people, okay, planning and promotion of welfare of people in each state as well as nation as a whole. It suggested abolition of fourfold classification. Government accepted the recommendation with some modification, and therefore State Reorganization Act 1956 was passed besides 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. So some of the facts incorporated in India using 36th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1975.